Hi everybody, my name's Esther, and as he said, I'm a food consultant and my talk is called Tomato. And there's a reason for that, and you're going to find out why. Tomatoes and potatoes were introduced to England in the 16th century, but why we seem to have got the hang of potatoes, tomatoes are a different kettle of fish. We just don't really seem to have that same wonder for them that the French and the Spanish and the Italians have. It's a centerpiece of their cuisine. For us, it's the center of a BLT, and that's sad. So I'd like you to humour me now, take a few deep breaths and close your eyes. And I'd like you to think about the most delicious tomato you've ever had. Think about how juicy it is. Think about its smell. Think about how it feels when you hold it. Think about how all those juices that drip down your fingers when you bite into this tomato. How vivid that feeling is, like a description in a kid's picture book. Now, as you open your eyes, I want you to think about the last tomato that you bought in a supermarket. Who's disappointed at that contrast? Yeah. We seem to really disrespect tomatoes. We use ketchup and we cover it over everything, particularly with kids, like they're afraid of real food. Usually we just call it ketchup. We don't even mention the poor old tomato. But we got the Aztecs to thank for tomatoes. They were cannibals, as you probably know, and they used to use the tomatoes, that lovely shiny red fruit, as a side dish to the main course of roasted human flesh. Then we'd skip to maybe the Georgians, who thought that they were an aphrodisiac, probably because the French called them pomme d'amour at the time, because they misheard the Italians, who were calling them the potato of the Moors, and the French got it wrong. We really don't get it, because a tomato, a real raw, properly reared tomato, is a thing of joy. It distills the essence of summer, as I say, into a single juicy bite. That mixture of sweetness and acidity, it's so useful in cooking. But what do? We stick it in salads for a bit of colour. The proper growing season for British tomatoes starts sort of just after Wimbledon for about 3 months. And then in October, they all disappear from our shelves because we just can't grow them here anymore. And then we start importing them, mainly from Spain. So I went to Waitrose on my way here. God, that sounds pretentious. Just to look at the tomatoes. I didn't buy anything, honest. Definitely didn't have my Waitrose card with me. And most of all the tomatoes in Waitrose today came from Spain. So they'd flown about 787 miles to get here. Do you think a Spaniard would actually eat those tomatoes? Because I don't. Something that's as ripe as a tomato, it should be juicy, it should be fragile, it should collapse nearly as you take it off the vine. It should not be the size and shape of a large golf ball, and it should taste of something. So if you want that experience of a proper tomato, can I suggest 3 things? First of all, if it tastes awful or it tastes of nothing and it's as hard as a rock, take it back to the supermarket. Take it to the customer service desk, make the managers eat them, and then see if they want to keep them on the shelves. Secondly, buy British and keep it in season. Learn how to do other things with tomatoes so you can eat them in the winter, but don't eat them. If they taste of nothing, what's the point? It's better for the planet and it's better for you to eat them when they're good. And thirdly, just learn to embrace that naked tomato. Mimic our European cousins. Do something creative with the things. Don't just slice them and put them on a plate looking really sad and lonely, because you deserve that taste experience you were imagining at the beginning of my talk. So does your stomach. So buy British, buy local, buy in season. Think of something else the rest of the time.